Fishing trips anywhere, anytime. FishingBooker.com.
Welcome to the Habitat Podcast, the podcast for wildlife habitat management, hunting strategy, and land stewardship. And now, your host, Jared Van Hees.
Welcome to the Habitat Podcast.
I'm your host, Jared Van Hees, so we are here to become better habitat managers. Happy Friday, everybody. It is June 20th, and we have a great episode for you here today. We have yours truly. We also have my dad, Greg Van Hees, and my good buddy, Pat Cross. We did a deer camp at the Northern 70 4 years ago, I think, with these two guys together and me. Great buddy, and obviously my dad, one of my best buds. So we are at the Northern 70. We just finished up a work day, and we hit the record button standing around the bonfire and the ATV right as we wrapped up some of the day. This was late in the afternoon, and then, man, we just go over all the cool stuff we got done that day and the hard work and the projects with the bulldozer and everything else. So awesome podcast. Thank you to those guys for coming on, and thank you, the listener, for being here today. One thing I want to mention, we have a couple brand new partners we've been talking about. We have Antler Anchor Company. Those are brackets made to hold, your shed antler or your Euro mount. We also have face-off e-bikes. I'll be picking up my e-bike on Tuesday, so I can't wait to get that thing in my hands and tell you guys more about it. But right now, Latitude Outdoors, latitudeoutdoors.com, they are giving away a face-off e-bike as well. So it might be a spot you want to go, get in on that before they give away, a $5,000 e-bike, which is pretty awesome of them and Dieter over at Face Off to put together. These e-bikes are no joke, so check them out. And more to come soon. I'm waiting to get some of the stuff done on the HP40 for the Habitat Day, August 9th. It just keeps raining here, which I'm not going to curse that, but it's making it, that place needs to dry out some. So I'll have more updates on that soon. And yeah, that's about it, guys. Enjoyed this podcast. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you next week here at the Habitat Podcast.
This podcast is brought to you by Latitude Outdoors. Guys, Latitude Outdoors is one of the top saddle hunting manufacturing companies in the world, here headquartered in Michigan. Guys, I've worked with Kevin, Alex, the guys over there at Latitude. I've been using their products for over 3 seasons here at Habitat Podcast. The first deer I shot was that first big buck on the 15 acres out of my Method 2 saddle. That buck, I shot him out of the saddle using the climbing sticks, the platform, everything to get up, and that saddle is just very versatile when selecting a tree. That's the first time I hunted that tree on the 15 acres. I climbed up that day and was able to make the shot and a follow-up shot on that buck in that saddle. Guys, the saddle is so easy to use. You literally strap it on like a seat belt, like a belt. It's all ropes. There's no metal components. There's no tinging and banging and clunking. I wrap it around, I step into it, I cinch it down, and I'm on my way out. I also use their Carbon Speed Series climbing sticks. I got those brand new this year. I've been using those all over bow hunting and gun hunting, from public land to private. Very lightweight, easy to carry, stackable sticks. I ended up putting cell strips on mine and using daisy chains. They compact very well, hang out of the bottom of my pack. And when I'm wearing the Method 2 saddle, I can easily pick any tree in the woods and hunt. Guys, if you're looking for a way to outfit your property without spending $200 per stand, like I'm gonna do on the new 40, I'm gonna prep a bunch of saddle trees and keep the deer guessing on where I'm sitting. They will not know my true stand location because I will not have one. Guys, saddles are very versatile. I urge you to check them out. Latitude Outdoors. Again, I've been using them for years, and they are great products. Latitude Outdoors, thank you for supporting the Habitat Podcast. So we're at the Northern 70.
Yep.
Car coming by. Probably going to hear that on the podcast. See, we're out in the middle of a field. probably pick that up. We'll see. And we are, what's today? Oh, tomorrow's Father's Day. Got my man, Mr. Pat Cross here. Great buddy of mine. Decided to come up. What time you leave this morning?
About 4:15ish.
So you got up at 4:15 and
I
got in the truck?
I got up at 3:45.
How are you feeling right now?
I actually feel surprisingly well. Yeah.
Was it that monster I picked up
Yeah,
later?
it probably was.
I think the fact
Or,
that you
earlier?
don't eat a whole bunch all day long probably helps too. The lunch thing probably helped, but the dinner thing, we haven't had that yet, so there's no crash involved there.
It's about 9 o'clock, and we got the smooth voice of Mr. Greg Van Hees there. Papa.
Yeah, I got sucked into this old deal somehow. I don't know how, but it's been pretty fun. It's been a good deal.
Well, we're up here. You know, we paid for a dozer for the day from my friend Josh down the road, and I
No,
need
you did. We didn't. I'm not.
Right.
You're going to pass the plate tonight? And
Well, what I'm saying is that's the reason we're all here, because Josh is like,
Josh is getting paid?
yeah, you guys are getting paid. Yeah, get paid in bush lights and cheeseburgers, and what the reason was he could do today.
Yeah.
You know, there's Total Archery Challenge going on. There's Father's Day. Everybody else at Deer Camp couldn't make it, but I was like, I gotta be there if he can get the dozer today. So that's what we're doing.
One of your friends made it up at least.
One of them, my man, my favorite friend.
yeah.
Hear that, Andy,
Evan,
Nick,
Adam.
everybody else.
The rest of you, yeah. No, it's.
Well, Evan, to
You're
be
missing
fair,
out, you guys. You're missing out. I'm telling you. But anyway, moving right along.
well, Evan came how long ago was that? 6 weeks ago? 5 weeks ago? Evan was
I think
up
it was
with
the
you.
middle of April. I think it was like
Okay.
yeah.
About 2 months ago.
April
Yeah,
and May.
probably 6 weeks. You're probably about right. 2 months. Yeah.
So we came up and we cut through the ice storm trees down to the food plot, the big field.
Yes.
And
that
then we
was-
were freaking done.
That was a major event. I mean, it was
just three
not-
guys and 3 saws.
it was just like the start of the whole thing. I mean, it wasn't like we resolved anything. It was
Yeah.
what do we do next?
Getting
you
a
know?
taste.
Getting the things that are going to kill you that are hanging up on the trees, kind of down and on the ground,
And so then we did a follow-up. You got to fix the road and finish the tree clearing. That was today. And it's about 9 p.m. on Saturday night. We're standing by the fire.
today was a remarkable day.
Today was a
It
remarkable
was.
day.
You get a dozer operator who knows what he's doing, and
Yeah. Appreciate that,
you
Dad.
can't even
Thanks.
you can't even keep up with him with the cameras trying to wander down and film the whole thing. But we have a rookie dozer operator who's gone from rookie stage to actually kind of has it figured out. Jared
Hey.
got on that thing, and it's fun. It's intimidating, but it's fun, and
All telephone poles are
did
still
a pretty
here.
good job.
Yeah.
I mean,
I didn't crash into anything. I didn't flip
No,
it. Josh gave me a chance to run it. What did you say that dozer was, Pat? What dozer is that?
It's a JD 450, John Deere 450.
450J. It's like 20,000 pounds.
Yeah.
It's probably like a Cat D6 would be, I think, a comparable model.
Equivalent.
Smaller, not small.
It's
that
the
can't
smallest
push
one they
anything,
have
but
at their
it's-
company, he said.
It's more of a compact unit. And it's great.
It's sweet, man.
It's- yeah,
Well,
But-
you need it for getting down that
That road.
tight road going
No,
down the
it's-
hill.
perfect.
So let's start there. So we started coming out here cutting that one tree at like 9:30 or 8:30, and Josh was like, anything in the way of the dozer, I'll push out of the way. You guys are wasting your time. Thank you, but we're good to go. We're like, okay.
Well, that one he couldn't probably reach.
Probably not that one, but
No, that was the only.
that was like 10 feet in the air hanging over the
Yes,
road.
That was like a 16-inch
Maple.
diameter, big bad A.
Maple with tension on it because it was all the weight. So Pat's cutting branch by branch for that thing waiting to kill us. My tractor's trying to hold it with a grapple. And like you pointed at me one time, my wheel was off the ground.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, it happens all the time with this little thing.
No, I only got slapped one time today with the tension on what we cleared out, and
Everything has tension on it from falling.
it's stupid. It's kind of like, do you like your teeth or do you not like your teeth?
You know what? I'm
You gotta think
so
about
happy
this
nobody
stuff,
got
you
hurt.
know?
Like
I know.
Yeah,
it's so dangerous.
that's a bonus when you're running saws all day and
Yeah.
heavy equipment and
Yeah.
trees under tension and pressure. And I mean, I don't know how many things we went to go cut and you just take little bites at a time and just see what the tree's gonna do.
Right.
And, it starts bouncing
And you're hearing it. It's telling you, like, don't mess with me, right? It's like,
Well, and that comes with experience too, because like if you don't know and you're just cutting,
yeah,
you get hurt in a hurry.
you get hurt.
Right.
Which
right.
I've cut a couple trees, but like I'm still every one of them. You're just like wait, trying to see if it's gonna.
Well, even
is
if
it coming my way? I'm gonna step this way then, and then cut or
but
whatever.
even if you
right?
cut it partially, like I wasn't with you so much cutting, but I was with Pat, and it was kind of like you'd cut half an inch, and then you'd lay off with a saw, and you just hear it kind of creaking and going.
Yeah.
Stuff's wound up. It's just
Yeah.
So it got better for me later in the day that I actually
Get your girlfriend.
was
My-
paying.
That's my ring notification at my house.
Okay, you got a package in your Porch,
Probably.
Got a package all right.
Or my wife's boyfriend showing
So what is it? What'd you
Ian's
order?
boyfriend showing up.
But yeah, no, but I mean, it was. I think you become more cognizant as you work through the day, and
Yeah.
you get the saw stuck a little bit more
Oh my gosh.
in the first couple hours, and then
Times
later,
that
later in the
happen, man.
day, you get better at it.
You still
And
got to stick later in the day.
You know what though? I didn't have to have you guys come and rescue me though,
That's true.
because I had that 8-foot pole that I could put under that log and get some leverage and.
I saw you doing
Clear
that.
myself, and
Talk
yeah.
about that. That's a great little tip there. Like
It's
the trees across the road.
correct.
How do you cut it?
You cut well.
Don't know if I still know the answer to this question because I got stuck a few times today
A
too.
lot of times you have to cut it from the bottom because it's going to fold that way, right?
Yeah, it's gonna open up towards the ground.
And sometimes you have to cut it from the top, and you get hung up. So, if you cut it from the top and you get pinched because it's folding down and you're on top of it, then I'd get a 6 or 8 foot pole, whatever I could find that hopefully I cut earlier,
Plenty of poles lying
and get a
around.
little leverage, get underneath it. And I didn't have to call you guys to say, hey, come and rescue me. I did it first, but then it happened enough to me to where I was able to half the time take care of it myself by putting that pole underneath there and just, taking the pressure off. And
Yeah.
worked out pretty good. We didn't bend the bar on the chainsaw, which is good.
Yeah, nobody ruined the bar.
I did wear out a chain today.
Wow.
Brand new chain.
I sandwiched the bar on mine a little bit, but a little prying took care of that.
Yeah, but little redneck ingenuity, you figured it out. And you
Well,
got
yeah,
it
that
all
maple-
straightened out. And
Yeah, I would have back cut that probably.
gosh, man.
But then you remember I said, "Here comes a barber chair," and it starts coming up and cracking. And tell me about your saw, that little saw you got. Guys might be interested to hear about the value in this little honey badger. We call it.
Yeah,
Or
it's
the
a
little crouton.
yeah.
A throwaway saw that's still working pretty dang good after how many days?
I mean, me and the Motivated to Hunt guys, James and Bob, we have, some property in Ohio and Illinois, and, it's mostly Ohio. Every time we go to Ohio, all the trails through our property, like, there are windstorms and trees come down, and, so we just picked up a little, I found a little cheap Chinese 12-inch bar chainsaw on Amazon on sale for $100. I think it's normally like $130 or $140.
What is the model of it? Like a Ching Ling or something?
It's like JP Tech.
Oh,
It definitely does not have a muffler. They
make
skipped the muffler on this thing.
The thing rips
screaming-
though. I mean,
it's a screaming son of a
It's a
gun.
screaming eagle,
I
man.
ran that thing all day long, and the thing rips.
Can you hear me talking right now?
Yeah.
No, I know. That was loud, and so same with that other one that I had. That's very loud, but that little thing,
It's a screamer. It cuts.
12-inch bar. You showed up with a saw with a 12-inch bar, and you
Yeah.
cut all day,
Yeah.
all day. And at deer camp, you cut all day with that saw.
Yes,
Yeah.
you did. That's what wowed
I mean,
us the
it's-
first time when we saw it, right?
Yeah.
It's a perfect size just for throwing in the back of a side by side or in the front of a quad, or if you need to clear some limbs off trails or trimming for shooting lanes, or especially if you're hanging stands and you need to get up and try to limb off a couple sections of a tree.
Yeah.
There's,
saw above your head type stuff. You don't
can-
want a big.
Yeah, you can one hand operate it. So that was really the intention of it. But we put it to the test today, and
Dude, I appreciate you.
No, I think even
You did awesome
even
today.
a throwaway saw that you spend $100 on, even if you had 100 to 125, even if you had to replace it every year,
Yeah.
it's still worth it.
I mean
It's still-
that thing's already
Yeah.
earned its
No, I
$100.
know.
I'm pretty sure my buddy Jim Ward, huge habitat guy, he buys that same little steel that you were using.
That's a bad A.
$1,200.
Bad A.
Yeah.
Well, no, not the
saw.
big one, the little
Oh,
one.
yeah.
I bought that 170 probably 7, 8, 9 years ago, and that thing thing rips. But it's $180 way back when. Maybe it's more now, but you buy one of those a year, $180.
Yeah, no, that's
And you cut as much trees as
almost a
we're
no-brainer.
cutting.
Yeah.
You know, then you got an extra saw or 2 extra saws because shit happens when you're cutting trees and saws get damaged.
Especially when you have rookies cutting trees, saws. Things happen with saws, but no, it's not.
I mean, what was the hairiest situation you were in today cutting?
I had I had probably 2 that were potential barber chairs.
Yeah.
The biggest trees that I cut down all day today were around your cabin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pat took out the real mean one.
That's probably a 14-inch pine.
And I took out and it's
14,
burning in the pile.
pine,
You can measure that right now. It's probably 16.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking at this one
And I
compared
took
to
out
that.
the one
No, it's probably
behind
bigger.
it. But there was a maple that was in there too that was kind of arched over. And I kind of looked at it a couple times. And I actually walked out and said, if this hits this cabin, this is not going to be a good thing. And, so
I'll go for a walk.
checked it out and go, no, we're probably good. And it came down, fortunately, where I wanted to.
That's the only reason I haven't cut it yet. I'm like, it's not hurting anything,
No,
but you need to go.
No, but it's like, something you want to
He's back.
Or use quick.
deal with it
Too
while we're
long
up here
chunk.
dealing with stuff, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm surprised, we got, I'm skipping ahead, but you guys want to keep cutting. So I was like, anytime you guys want to run a saw.
Well, look at the improvements up here today from an aesthetic standpoint.
Yeah.
And there was so much random BS laying around up here that needed attention. So,
Yeah, so right now we're on the logging landing.
yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was, full of sticks and there's a term for slash. Just stuff everywhere. And after we got done, well, let's finish the story of Down in the Woods first. Put this in a chronological order. Josh bulldozed the road down.
Yep.
How long did that take?
Probably an hour when he got down to the very...
The road's flat, perfect. You could drive a truck down it if you can go through some sand.
It was crazy. He basically covered, for the most part, what we had laid down when we cleared it out the first time.
Yeah, he buried all that stuff.
Which is good. And he was fine with
Some
it.
structure
and,
in there.
And kind of changed the angles a little bit to where it's more of a subtle, grade as opposed to a cliff on the sides. And
He was grabbing material from the sides on both sides and kind of
Correct.
pushing it in.
Yeah.
And,
He added some little drainage kind of
little
retention area.
yeah, what would you
little-
call that?
little drainage pond or
Little
reten-
catch-all,
Yeah.
little catch-all type
I think
deal.
retention areas.
Yeah, kind of on the outside corners, dug it a little bit deeper so the water doesn't just continue to flow down the hill.
That's
it
right.
has a spot to kind of
Pull
collect and then
pull up, right.
and then seep into the ground as
Right.
opposed
Yeah.
to just a river running down your logging trail.
A river
yeah.
runs through it. That's a movie. I
That's
heard that
that's my
movie.
logging road.
It's a Meryl Streep movie. Yeah, river runs through it.
That's what it was. It was a logging road.
Well, and so he took the dozer. He went down through there. We just probably sit around for the first hour just watching,
Correct. Yeah.
taking some footage.
And I was still tripping over everything that we had cut a few weeks back.
Off of the road.
I was trying to get some footage to, be able to show kind of the progress of what the dozer was doing. And he was getting after it. He kind of had a plan and had it figured out and didn't hesitate. He just went after it and just go, wow, man. I mean, it's amazing what 6 inches of dirt over a shit show, if you will, does. And not that it's totally finished from the standpoint of what you have to do to retain what you have. I have to put, dump some seed or something in there, but it looks pretty dang good. It's impressive.
Yeah, and
And you
it's
drove
all
your quad
sick.
down there.
oh yeah, quad, the
You got
track.
down
No,
there
we
and-
didn't take the tractor down there, did we? We never had to.
No,
We never did.
we could do that tonight. Take a wild ride down there, but no, we didn't have to.
Well, once he got about 3/4 of the way or all the way down the hill, we're like, all right, well, we can get by him now and go start cutting.
Well, we originally thought we were going to have the tractor to pick up logs with your grapple hook and
Right.
stuff. But
Right. That's why I brought it up here.
Yeah, I mean,
I drove it up
He pretty
here.
much just has just
Just cut them and I'll move them.
Cut him on both sides of the road.
Yeah,
both sides of
yeah.
the trail, and then he just came through and just dozed them out.
Oh
you
my
know?
gosh, dude.
Well, when
That
you
would have taken us with a tractor how long compared to what he did?
Oh, you'd be up here for
3 weeks, and you took like 3 hours.
Yeah.
For a lot of what he had done. But it kind of came down to a little bit of strategizing, like, okay, what do I want to have him do? Let's make sure this gets accomplished. I don't care about that so much. If he gets after it, great. If he doesn't, great. But let's get the main plan kind of taken care of. And it was a discussion that was talked about. I mean, it was kind of like, this is kind of what I'm thinking. What do you think? And so
I think that's key to having the operator that if we didn't come up with a full plan, it was kind of like, what do you want to do with this? Well, can you do that? Yeah, just get out of my way or go cut those trees and I'll be behind you. And that's what we did for the rest of the morning till maybe 1. We cleared all the logging rows except for 2 of them by 1 o'clock.
And it's not like he...
And the food plots.
And it's not like he necessarily graded them all out, okay? I mean, he didn't, like, finish grade them, like, perfect, pretty kind of thing. It was like, he got the for the most part, the BS out of the way. And, you know, if you want to go down there and rake it with your tractor and do some things...
I can at least get to the food plot. Though.
No,
that's what I'm talking about. Or the food plots.
Cool.
I can get to all of them.
Yeah, your kids are going to start wandering down that trail. You're not going to see them for like a half hour.
That would be cool.
They're going to be gone. But so really, it's kind of like picking your battles. It's going, okay, this needs to happen, that needs to happen, and whoever thought that would happen, and it did happen, and you know, and he pretty much took the steep cliffs off the side of, you know, what was there, what was washing out, and kind of beveled them off to where it made more sense, right?
It's something, I guess the way that I looked at it was, if we have to do this every 2-3 years, as long as I can keep the up top road so we can get there, the rest was, it's worth doing. You know, it's worth having it done. So.
I don't think you're going to have to do anything major anymore. I think you really did a good job today, and you know, a lot of it is not allowing the water to even begin to want to head down the trails.
And we'll get there. But you were telling the story where you're the dangerous part of the day, the barber chairs. What about the last food plot where that big log almost rolled on you?
Yeah, move your legs.
Pat and I were there.
Well, it's kind of like you try to predict it, okay? You try to be safe, and you try to anticipate what the next move is going to be, and you can't always do that. I mean, there's a lot of stuff hanging up, and you kind of get aggressive after a while. You have a little bit of a comfort level, and okay, get after it, but then, you know, something maybe rolls a little bit different way, or decides it doesn't really want to, you know, respond like you think it should. But so many of these trees up here are just wound up. They are just spring-loaded, wound up, ready to go. You start cutting, and you can just kind of hear it creaking and cracking and going, shoot, you know, I didn't know this tree was under all this pressure. So you back off, you stop, you get after it, you look at each other, you talk about it, and a lot of tension going on out there. So, you know, you get your guard up again, and you go, well, how are we going to approach this? What are we going to do? And do we really want to do this? Or let's let Josh do this with the dozer as opposed to us with the chainsaws. And I think what happens is you get a little gutsy after a while, and then you
said that earlier.
Maybe kind of do stupid stuff because that's what guys do. And so maybe you kind of reel it back at some point and go, well, you know what?
Let's take a break.
It's not worth it.
That's what I told you. I said you start running saws all day, and you start getting cocky, you start getting in speed mode, you start zipping and cutting, and I said, hey, it's good to just take a break every little bit, and you know, when you start getting confident is when you get hurt, and
it's when you get hurt.
So taking a break's a good thing when you're running saws all day.
So nobody really got hurt today that I'm aware of. I did I did have one spring-loaded log that I cut, and I had long sleeve, kind of a jersey sweatshirt type shirt on.
I see your boo-boo right now.
And it hit my arm, and it, you know, when you get old like me, I'm 66, you get thin-skinned, and I don't care what you do. You bump this stupid stuff, and your skin peels off. So I bumped it, and then I waited like 2 or 3 minutes, and I go, let me peel it back, take a look. Well, yeah, it got me kind of good. But that was the only thing. And again, it's one of those, do you want to get your teeth knocked out or not get your teeth knocked out? Do you want to be cautious? Do you want to really care if that tree gets cut, gets moved?
Right.
To Pat's point, you stop and you go, We don't really need, and we've had
I
this
like that.
conversation probably half a dozen times today. No, we don't need to do that. It's not worth it. And we still have one hanging back there that the storm will probably take down the next big windstorm that we have.
Yeah, I mean, it's away from everybody. There's nobody that's going to be down there. Nobody going to be around it.
But it's a pride thing. It's
I
kind of
know.
like,
You know, at the end of the day, we're not professional arborists so either.
well,
you know?
not yet, but no,
And
I mean,
they still get hurt.
Right.
no, they do.
Yeah.
They do. So, but you feel like, get the adrenaline going. Let's get after it. Come on. You going to cut it, Pat, or am I going to cut it? Jared going to cut it? Why let the dozer push it over? We can cut it. And not good. Not.
Well, I
looking
finally
good.
got, Pat goes, so we had what, 3 of us and the guy on the dozer.
Yeah.
And then his stepson came down, which is a strong young man in the Air Force. So, you know,
Yeah.
Mace, shout out to Mason.
Yeah, good dude.
I was like, hey, I got an extra saw. And then I'm like, I don't have a saw now. And then you're like, Jared Foreman driving around the quad
that's
the
all
whole
you did.
time.
That's all you did all day was just drive around with 4-wheeler.
Not cutting. So when we crossed the creek or when we got down the field, I'm like, I'm showing Pat right now that I'm cutting. So I got what is that big one? Is that out here? It's a 261 or a 291. That thing rips.
Yeah.
And we were cutting a bunch with that. Got all that done. You know what? We were back up top to have lunch about 1:45, 1:30 with some Subway on the deck. My mom went and got it for us today.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness. And then then every road down there is cleared except for Evans Road where you shot that buck.
Yeah.
And the other road across in the bedding area.
But we only had to go down that road because this one was impassable over here.
Correct.
So
I don't need those roads right now.
No, I mean even if last year if we could have gotten a side by side or a 4-wheeler all the way down at the bottom, we could have just drug Evans deer, 200, 150, 200 yards across the bottom of the hill and then brought it up.
Yeah,
Not
a lot of
straight
people
up the
thought
hill.
about it, but nobody was stupid enough to try it because.
No, Andy did try.
No,
I tried
well,
2 with the quad.
I
So
know,
did
but
Evan.
I mean,
Yep.
to actually say, screw it, I'm going for it and doing
Yeah.
it.
We went part
No.
way down in
No.
the trenches. You
Yeah,
flipped the
yeah.
quad on your head.
I
And
know.
it was like,
I know.
so now we didn't cut those 2 roads, but every other road is cut and cleared. The food plots are all cut and cleared. We made progress by lunchtime.
Well,
Big progress.
Even the fact that we came up and cleared all the debris, we didn't necessarily remove it all, but we cut up what got taken down by the ice storm up here and kind of laid it in all the gullies and
Oh, you mean
ravines on the trail.
last time we were here? Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, to slow down the flow of the water and the erosion part of it, it kind of solved a big part of that. A lot of those gully washers, whatever you want to call them, kind of filled in and smoothed out when you got further down the road. And so there's something to be said for diverting
Yeah,
or
slowing.
slowing or pooling or whatever it is, even for a second, to where it's not rushing, 30, 40 miles an hour down the hill. It's having to stop, and the sand is collecting behind the logs, and it stops. And
it worked.
And it did work. And yeah, it did.
I wonder if we should lay some logs across it. Not that I want to go cut more logs, but every 10 foot.
Well,
Maybe we'll get to it with this berm. Maybe
I don't
that's gonna fix
think,
it.
you know what? I think
You're gonna have a good
you
idea.
managed this up on top so well.
I hope so,
Today,
but
with
I
what
still
you
think
did,
I think we're still
I
gonna have
don't.
issues.
I feel really good
You
about
don't think so?
what it was.
You want to bet money?
I will bet you like 25 cents.
How about a 30 pack?
Yeah, we could do that.
All right, shake on
We'll
it.
do a 30
You're
pack
saying what?
of Bush Light Apple.
if it
you
comes
can
back,
find
if you
it,
can find it.
whatever it is, and you can bring them to me. I will.
His grip is ridiculous. I cannot.
I will do this
overpower
from
his-
all that chainsaw cutting. I will say,
something
okay,
like that.
Jared, bring me a beer. Yeah, right. This is my left hand, dude. Come on, let me break.
Straight.
How's the skin sensitivity down there? Is it
No,
10?
so it's kind of like I snap my fingers and say, okay, I got 29 left. Bring me one. Pat, shut up. And here we go. So
All right, so we're betting that I still think we're going to see some water down that hill making holes.
we haven't cured the problem, is what you're saying.
But I think we made a gigantic,
Yes.
and you're betting
I'm betting that you probably
Fix it.
reduced 90% of what your issues are up here.
All right, so what we're talking about is the top field. I've talked about this a couple of times, but maybe not exactly. So you come out of the belly of the beast, you come up through the draw, and the guy pulled logs out. He did it like this way, like a clock.
Yeah, it was
Right, so you're at the center of the clock, and he went from 3 to 12 to 9, pulling logs out in different directions. So what that did was create a funnel, if you think about it, a funnel back down towards the center of the clock.
Correct.
Which is the head of the
He only
road.
did that like 2,000 times
Correct.
over the 2 years, right?
Correct.
So the ground does not get compacted at all.
Oh, it's
But
very cool.
anyway,
Yeah, we'll
I
talk
kinda
about that.
mentioned that. But yeah, no, he did.
So now what we did for the second half of the day is we had the dozer up top, and we created, well, Josh created, a berm around the road. The road is protected by like a crown or like a 3 or 4 foot hill. Like you have to drive over a hill to go down the road now.
Hey guys, Al here, Vitalize Seed. I hope you all are doing well. So we got a lot of new things happening at Vitalize this year, and I wanted to highlight some of those. First off, we got a brand new website. We just added a chat feature to that website so you can get your answers to your questions in real time or as fast as possible. Those actually come directly to us, so we can answer those questions, as well as has some auto answer features for those frequently asked questions. So trying to further increase the customer service that we offer. Number 2 is we are offering bundles now. So we got a lot of questions about people trying to piecemeal things together. So we took the guesswork out of it for you. You want a fertility bundle? Add that to your cart, and it gives you all of our natural fertility products in one place. We also are adding bulk pricing. So been asked about this in the past, and we've done some kind of one-off things. But for those people who are buying 5, 10, 15 acres, depending on the product, we're going to be offering some bulk pricing options for that. So right now we got that up on Nitro Boost. We also are going to have that up for the Clover, Chicory, and Oats offering, and might expand that to other offerings as well. Other things are new products. So we got our annual Clover. That's a fantastic product for frost seeding and also for this early spring, especially for those who still want to plant Nitro Boost. You want to get that annual Clover established, you could go in and drill your Nitro Boost right through it, broadcast through it, mow it off, spray it off, etc. We got our Premium Clover Plus. I'm using that on all my logging trails. That's a fantastic product. I'm also using that often with our Clover, Chicory, and Oats mix. So I might use Clover, Chicory, Oats in the first year on my logging trails like I did last fall. Let those oats come in, they'll die off, and then I can frost seed my Premium Clover and Chicory over top of those trails now. So those are areas where I want a perennial crop growing. So I'm using that mix. And then we added our brassica mix as well. We, of course, have our seed feed and seed armor. Those are selling fantastic, and various other products, guys. So please check us out at vitalizeseed.com. We sure do appreciate you, and we're looking forward to a fantastic 2025.
So this whole field now that used to drain right down that road is now protected by.
The water's going to move in a different direction. It's not going down there.
It's not going down there.
It was a water slide before.
Correct.
Exactly.
It was just this big field just funneled right down that road.
Yeah.
It was
exactly. So that was the second. How many hours do you think that took?
He probably spent 2 to 3 hours up here on top. Plus, you were dicking around for. I never saw a bigger smile on your face when you got on that dozer.
Oh, hell yeah.
You started figuring it out.
I was watching him to see if he was embarrassed.
No, he was fine. You were good.
He didn't seem to think I screwed up too bad, but
No, I mean, they're very intimidating because you get on them the first time and you think you're going to be a rock star.
heck no.
And a half hour into it, you're going,
Well, you said it earlier. There's
it's finessing
3 or
the
4
whole
different
thing.
things going on at one time.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have the decelerator, which is takes power. You have the joystick on the right, which is a blade which goes up, down, left, right, and I think it turns as well.
Camber it and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
And then the left side is your throttle, which goes front, back, and you can hit left or right, and it spins the dozer left or right.
Yeah.
So you got 3 things going on at one time.
Right.
Let alone, you dig a hole, you go a little too deep, you create a trench. He called it chatter gaps or something, where you. So now this whole field up here looks like a sod farm, like black
Right.
topsoil. So he scraped
Right.
all the topsoil off first.
Right.
Then he moved the sand around everywhere. Then he put the topsoil back on,
Yeah, which is awesome.
which is so cool.
There's a lot of topsoil up here, which is amazing.
More so than I thought we had.
Sorry, Andy, but there's a lot of topsoil up here in Michigan for some reason
that
over
was
here.
Andy's farm looks like that right there.
Yeah, that's that little beach sand thing, right?
Yeah, so we have one little drainage pool where we didn't put the topsoil back in straight sand. That's going to just, perk out the water.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so now we're sitting here.
It's exciting. It's great.
Yeah, I mean,
You can kind of process this in your mind when you're sitting here looking at it, and it makes sense. It's going, geez, yes.
yep, we got all the rest of the tops from the ice storm burning up. We got the fields all fresh. Pat got the York rake out, or the landscape rake on the tractor. He was driving around picking up all the stuff, smoothing out the Dozer windrows and stuff. And now we're kind of at the point where I'm pretty much ready to seed switchgrass tomorrow. I'm gonna have the girls pack it in with Lincoln's Packer Max.
Well, that'll happen, I'm sure.
We gotta hook up the downburst tomorrow morning though. Total sponsor plug here, but the downburst that seed's really expensive, so
Well,
gotta hook that up.
I got to do it right a couple times, and the payback's there, and it's a no-brainer after that.
Well, so you see this spot over here towards that telephone pole?
Yep.
That whole strip from here over the driveway is gonna be all 8 to 10 foot tall
That'd be
RC Big
nice,
Rock.
because when all the leaves fall off in October, November,
Yeah,
we don't have to watch the traffic, and they don't have to watch us, right?
right. So that'll be cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, epic day with the Dozer. We got fire burning. I'll fire it up here again and push the rest of that in. I think if you think we should.
You're down. Yeah, you're down to like 25% of what was there, and you can't get anywhere close to that thing. It is hot.
That was a diesel fire, right? Is that
Yeah,
legal?
but
Is that EPA legal?
The ignition source.
Yeah.
No, the diesel fire was fine, but
We didn't use a tire.
I probably put a gallon of diesel on 4 different places and lit it. And I think the fact that it's been so dry up here, everything took off and burned. And it's all moving. It's matriculating to burn up everything that's there.
That's a big word.
That's a word.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it is. I'm not a dumbass. So anyway, it's burning up on its own, right? It's cooking it. So it's not like you have a bunch of wet crap and you got to, the thing is that you put the rubber tire in
I tried
there
with
and
it.
you put
Gasoline.
the diesel fuel in there. Gasoline burns too fast.
Like
too
6
hot.
weeks ago, it didn't do anything.
No, diesel's, at least you got it going. I mean, shoot, when that thing got going initially, it was hot. I mean, could have cooked a hot dog on that dang thing, and it'd been
We
done
still
in
can.
like 10 seconds. But no, it's good now. I cannot believe what you're down to right here. And you're going to probably want to jump on that Dozer and just do a push while you got the hot coals there, and maybe take a station break
push from
for
both sides.
a minute and come back. And
No, maybe we'll end it with the firing up of the Dozer, I think. But one
Maybe.
thing you didn't mention we did today after that was cage all the apple trees.
that wasn't my job to mention that. So we did, and they look awesome. I'm looking at them right now. You guys can't see them because you're looking the other way, but no, there is.
Did the deer get to him before we got here?
Well, how tall's a deer? And you can look at what
Talking
a
about that
deer
5
will
foot
do without standing on its back legs. And yeah, it's all peeled off up to that point. And
Every apple tree has no leaves or branches.
Correct.
5 foot and below.
we dug those in,
Everyone.
I don't know, 6 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago,
Yeah.
6 weeks ago.
Yeah, we couldn't even
Put your spade in the ground because the ground was so compacted from the logger. And then we're trying to drive these stakes in, these 5-foot stakes into the ground
T-post.
with a 5-pound sledge. And they weren't even moving because the ground is so compacted.
Driving in a half inch at a time.
Oh, it's stupid. It was,
I hit his hand.
you
once
could not
with a hand.
believe it.
Yeah.
Only one. I had a glove on. I survived.
No, but we got so much done. We got all. So I bought that welded wire on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, you got a good deal on that. That's bad A stuff
Got-
there.
And that was thick. It was kind of hard to cut. We didn't have
No.
any power tools with us. We were using tin snips.
And it's
What are those,
rusty.
Tin snips?
Yeah, no. Just
Side
pin
cut-
snips and
side
wire
cutters,
cutters,
yeah.
side cutters.
Yeah.
But
That should work pretty good.
no, but because it's rusty, it
Or
blends
dikes,
into the landscape.
The proper term.
Really?
Yeah.
What'd you call me?
Dikes.
Oh,
Oh, whatever.
didn't know that. You can't say that.
But no, they look good, and Yeah.
So we cut them all 9 foot, 9.5 foot, and they all have what
3 foot circumference, kind
3 to
of.
4 foot circumference
Yeah,
right
no,
in there.
it's nice. Yeah.
But it's 5 foot fence, which helps.
Seclusion fence.
Yeah, it's 5 foot. The 4 foot, I'd probably cut bigger because it's shorter.
Yeah. No, it's
I mean, shouldn't it be inclusion fence?
Yeah.
call it what you want.
Hey, jingle pants. you're making extra noise with your change over there. There we go.
Gosh darn it! First, have the loud jacket on. Don't cross your arms.
Well, last time you were complaining that last time we did a podcast
Goodness.
with us three was what the winter deer camp
Yeah.
3 years ago.
And we argued about how much snow was on the rail,
Yeah.
and
when Josh got his truck stuck plowing.
we made Greg take his jacket off because he crossed his arms, and every time he crossed his arms, it would.
And then Pat was hitting his Vave, and that was making all
Yeah.
kinds of noise.
Okay, well, it's not a perfect world, right?
Apparently,
We're standing
We're still
out
learning.
in the middle of nature with a badass fire burning behind us, drinking a latte and discussing how bad we sound down there.
see,
Oh
Pat's
my
paying,
gosh!
I'm making noises.
Yeah,
see,
you
Pat's
are.
paying attention though.
Yeah, he's doing that on purpose.
No, I would never do
Yeah.
that to you.
Yeah.
Well, we got
No, but it's
we got
good.
the trees in.
No,
we,
they look good, and that went.
Yeah.
That went really fast. It's kind of like what's nice about the guys that we hang with up here.
who show up.
Yeah, who show up, and there's always it's like two of us that always show up. Three maybe, like me and Pat and
Yeah.
Evan,
Yeah.
and the other guys are playing golf or doing Father's Day stuff, whatever they're doing. But what would you rather be doing on Father's Day? I mean, if you can get away with it. But anyway, we're doing this, and what's really kind of neat is that you never really have to give anybody any direction. It's kind of like, okay, this is the project, this is what we're doing, and everybody gets after it, and they're moving in different directions, and maybe they get a little bored of what they're doing. So
You and I didn't even argue today on how to do
no,
something.
I wasn't.
How
gonna
is
do
that
it.
possible?
We had to get stuff done today.
How
so
is that? You guys didn't have time to
I
argue? Is that what it was?
I said, no, don't go there. we kind of joked around a little bit this morning when we first got out there and going.
So
No.
for everybody who doesn't know, these guys are the same person. They
I
just
think
don't
I
know it yet.
said Mom's favorite phrase that she hates is, okay, moving right along. We're not going to discuss that. We're not going there. Okay, we're just, oh, I'm good. Yeah, fine. Everything's good.
And you guys work together all day.
We did. We didn't talk to each other all day. No, we did. No, we actually did. But
Just when I had to come unpinch your chainsaw.
7 times.
I know until I figured out a way to do it to where I didn't have to call on
You
you
got it.
anymore.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna figure this out just so Pat doesn't come over here.
Well, you know what? Pat
Pat's a
Pat's
BA,
a cool
man.
dude.
Yeah, he's one of my
Pat
boys.
has a great appreciation for me, which I truly respect.
And don't quite understand.
And I have Pat's cool. And we got a good relationship. So I'm not going to argue with him anymore. We'll high five or only punch each other one time, and it's done. It's done for the weekend. But no, it's
I'm gonna
really
hold
cool.
my breath, but
No, you know where you stand with somebody, and he's got my back
that's for
all
sure.
the time.
Always.
Okay, so till he brings those big racks up into the cabin from Illinois or Iowa or Ohio or wherever he's been in this last adventure, or kills my buck down in the
Yeah.
bottom of the
Or the ones I shoot here.
gully, whatever it is. But other than that, he's a pretty good guy. I mean,
Hey, I got
Yeah.
a perfect record at deer camp right now. I've
Yeah.
had 1,000.
You are.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be bragging about that, Pat.
That's what 3 years we've had this camper for.
I've been
3.
I've been 3.
Yeah, okay.
Well, you were here for the first one, so we've had 3 camps.
Yeah, 3 camps since
I still haven't shot a deer up here.
you guys technically had the camp.
Oh, you haven't, have you?
You guys had the camp prior to that at the Octagon.
Oh, we
house.
did have the Octagon
the
house.
smoke hut.
Yeah.
The smoke hut.
Yes.
Keith Plummer was there
Nub
on that
snob
one.
smoke
So
hut.
three deer camps since
Yeah.
the 70s, or since you've had the cabin built.
you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, when
You had the 70 at the Octagon house,
Oh,
but
God,
you
that
just
was a
you just
nice
didn't
show.
have.
when you're wandering around the smoke hut and you don't realize the fact that you're getting carbon monoxide poisoning.
You're getting
you're bumping
brined
into
by
each other.
smoke. Yeah.
Holy camole, it was a novelty.
It was an Airbnb the first
curious.
year
It
before we
was-
had the cabin.
Yeah, it was like,
And it was a S show. He jingle bells is back in his pocket.
we're not doing, I got a silver dollar in my pocket, okay?
The whole podcast knows that now.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's a $1,900 Morgan dollar.
Do that again, man. That was a cool sound.
You've been bitching about the fact that I've been rattling my chains over here.
I'm just saying, podcasters or people who hear noise on a podcast that isn't,
Yeah, they're going, what's up with this guy?
Yeah, they're like, has this guy done this before?
No, you know what? We're not, I don't want to be that dialed in to where it's a perfect world. Because then it's not real. Then it's not real anymore, right?
I know, but jingle bells, I'm just saying.
Jingle bells, get chicks looking at your pocket after you jingle your bells a little bit, right? You got silver dollar in there.
Are you on a list somewhere for jiggling your bells in public?
Hopefully not. That I'm aware of.
Oh my goodness.
There's no police tape wrapped around my house saying don't go here. But I can't help it. It's what it is, right?
Well, what did we miss? We miss anything?
Well,
I mean, we got so much done, dude. I'm so just happy and relieved.
It was just a good day. Well, a good long day of running saws and
you know what? We paid attention to what you look at out the cabin window and in the driveway, okay? We still got a few things that we need to take down. Well, we got all the random BS kind of out of the way. With the grapple.
You and Pat did.
Any of the dangerous stuff, too. I mean, you guys
Correct.
You guys have kids up here all the time and family, and they're running around the yard, and you got all these widowmaker branches and stuff.
There are a couple of them.
Before last time, it was just me, so I got the road clean and this. Yeah, but you guys
how many times did you cut on that one tree? 8 or 10, taking 2 or 3 foot chunks off the bottom. Because it was hung up and
it snapped off.
It's coming down.
One of these pines. Oh, the one that you cut.
It was this one. It was
bad.
It
was
not the one that's still down there that didn't even fall.
No, it was the one you did. The first major one was pretty bad.
Yeah.
But then what was really nice is that we took down some really nice trees that needed to come down, that were hung up or damaged or whatever it was, right?
Yeah, we did. We looked like professional
I
artists.
know.
Dropped trees exactly where they were supposed to, and Jared was out screwing around, going to buy zip ties from the hardware store.
No, he was bulldozing over here. He was working.
No, he wasn't even here.
I was at the hardware store.
Yeah.
I would have never known that. He had to make a beer run. Okay.
There's no way that you guys dropped it so perfectly while I was gone. I bet you almost hit the cabin 3 times.
I'll tell you what. I dropped 2 trees and I was so excited. And the first one that I dropped, after Pat dropped the meanie, the big one with the hanger in it.
Yeah.
And the one I dropped was probably a 12-inch red pine that needed to come down.
Because the top snapped off.
And it came down nice, and it hit hard, and all the wow factor part of it.
Yeah.
And then I had one of these maples that was kind of bowed over like a rainbow into your backyard of the cabin.
Like those 3 right there?
Correct.
Yeah. The ice just permanently bends them. That's what, 90 degrees.
That's probably, I don't know. Take a picture and show it. I have no idea.
That's 90 degrees.
It's a straight 90.
But the one
they sit like that forever now.
The one that I cut down was probably just 2 to 3 times the diameter of what it was.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it, I'm going, this could have hit the cabin here. It's like I went out and surveyed it, going, okay. And after I dropped the pine prior to that, I'm getting pretty fired up, right? I'm going, got to cut more. I'm going, I don't know. Maybe I should have some assistance over here, another opinion. I'm going, nah, this looks pretty good. Looks pretty good.
Nah.
And I felled it in the right direction, and
send it.
I survived, and nobody got hurt, and didn't hit the cabin, and it's like high five to nobody because nobody was there to see it.
Welcome to my life.
But it was cool. But it was, shoot, man, when those trees get on the ground, you cannot believe how heavy they are, and it'd kill you if it clunked you, okay? I mean, I've been clunked by little branches before a couple of years ago that...
Oh, yeah,
a hanger.
You were goofy for a little while there.
Yeah.
Maybe you still are.
I'm a little goofy, but can't believe when something clunks you like that, threw me out for like 6 months, and... So yeah, but today was a fun day. The only thing I didn't do yet, and the night is young, is get in the dozer and do any of that type of thing. But was it only like 9 o'clock, right? 10 o'clock, whatever it is.
That's how you're gonna end the podcast, firing up the dozer, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, you got to push that fire pile around a little bit yet. So you're about 80% burnt what we had out here. This is great.
We're taller than the fire.
This is
now. We're
great.
taller than
Yes,
it,
we
which
are.
we were not all day.
No, this is great.
Well, I mean, we started at what, probably 3 hours ago, 2 hours ago?
No, that log pile was 10 foot tall.
Correct. Yeah.
You were dropping. You had the grapple on the tractor. You were bringing loads over.
You
were bringing loads over in the grapple on the tractor.
That was fun.
You guys like doing that? That's kind of fun, right?
I was maxed out to try to, as far as the height to drop on
Right.
top
Oh,
of the
to get the
pile.
grapple
Yeah.
and put one on top.
Yeah, like it almost got to the point where you didn't have enough downswing to even dump it.
To get it up there, right?
Yeah.
Right. No, I probably had, I was probably a 30%er in what I was grappling and hauling. You get a real good grab, you go, hell yeah, man, I'm on my game, look at this. And you get it all, and you got
They're
the
so
swagger,
handy.
and you're coming back up the hill, and the next one you can't make it happen, and whatever it is. But no, it's fun. It's fun operating stuff. It's fun having results and having a good feeling. And it's kind of like getting new carpeting in your house or cutting your grass. Nobody else gives a rip, but you feel pretty good about it.
This looks real.
And
I feel great about it.
It looks so great up here compared to what it was.
Just a
Very
slash laying
encouraging.
everywhere.
It's just like, heck yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I say hell yeah, but it was, it's great. It's great. I think even Al would be impressed with what we're
I
doing
think
up here.
Al would be impressed. Al would be nodding his head with a compassion. He'd be like, "That's compacted."
Al would have this thing planted already.
Yeah, he
Come
probably
in.
would.
He
He probably would.
He'd be growing. It'd be sprouting tomorrow.
No, he would. That's for sure.
But no, it's fun. And yeah, and it took you a long time to get to this point to where you can actually do something and see a result.
Took 1 day. That took a long time, but it took 1 day.
Correct. But look,
I guess maybe that's the over resounding lesson is, maybe if you can find somebody,
Hire a dozer.
hire somebody who knows what they're doing, an operator who's good, you can get stuff done. And maybe, time is money. So
correct.
the tractor that they're taking us, we wouldn't be done. We
But
wouldn't be done this year.
it's even the,
With the amount of trips that you would have had to taken up here, and people driving up, and gas money, and racks upon racks upon racks of Busch Light, and
correct.
dinners.
Speaking of that,
Not that there's anything wrong with it.
No, I'm
But
just
no,
saying,
but the thing
you
is,
offset that in 1 day with
you can't get to this point without getting to this point, okay? You anticipate the day where you have a day like this. And what does it take you, 3 years to do it? Because
we've been talking about
certain
saw cam
things
for a
have
while.
to fall into place.
Yeah.
And you can't do this because you can't do that. And this person's not here yet. You got to do this. You got to move that. And finally, you're to a point to where you can actually really appreciate the day that you had because you can visually look at it and go, oh, yeah, wow. But you couldn't do it with all the days, without the days leading up to where we're at right now. And they finally got to a point to where you could make some stuff happen. And it happened today, which is, I'm jingling change, which is really cool. And
I'm gonna punch him right in the change.
well, I could be clicking my beer can, but I got to a point, and I think you start seeing the results of your efforts all of a sudden going, this is coming together. And
We got apple trees. We got fresh planted 30 Norways right here. These little short ones that we didn't hit with the dozer
you got
today.
apple trees that are browsed off all the way from the ground to 4 foot.
Oh,
and
that's
then,
true.
how tall's a deer? What are you saying?
4 or 5 foot.
But
Yeah.
anyway, they're all
In terms of where they reach.
They're all screened now, and it's fun.
It's a lot of work.
It's fun.
Bigger parcels. Everybody wants a bigger parcel, including me. And then you get there and you're like, where's the time?
Well,
Like we did what most guys would do in like today, and like I'm not talking the dozer, just like cutting. Like not a lot of people go that hard.
no.
And I appreciate you guys for doing that because it's what I do for fun and it sucks. But like it's so gratifying and it needs to be done.
Well, look at the wrench in the equation though that got thrown into
The ice.
the gears, whatever it was the storm.
Yeah.
Because would that set you back? Actually,
Yeah, I didn't plan
You-
for these 2 weekends up here.
no. You try to
clean up ice
plan to get
storm, so.
stuff accomplished up here, and Well, guess what, guys? All of a sudden,
Yeah.
it ain't happening. We're not going to accomplish anything until we do what we do. And don't get me wrong, I had fun cutting trees 6 weeks ago and doing what we did, and we made progress. We felt good at the end of the day,
we
right?
killed ourselves.
No, we did. I did.
What you're really trying to say is you have more fun with me than Evan.
Correct. Well, Evan shoots my deer all the time. You haven't done it to me yet.
Evan,
but,
I love you.
yeah, I know. But no, it's today was a great day. It came together very nice. So I don't want to have a day like this every time we come up here, but
Pretty much do.
I get roped into it for some reason. Can't pick your relatives, right? I mean, what are you gonna do?
Well, you told Pat if Pat wasn't here, I'd be cracking the whip.
Well, yeah.
So I was the buffer.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Well, let's round this thing out.
Yeah, we got to fire up this dozer.
Let's round this thing out. We're gonna
Here's some John Deere diesel.
a 450 JLT John Deere.
Hold on, I was too far away from you.
Oh, sorry. No, you good. A 450 JLT John Deere. It's probably, I'd say it's probably 20 years old.
Yeah.
Right?
Fire it up.
Right.
Give this log pile a push and
Let's go.
call it a wrap, I think.
Kind of what I'm doing now. We'll see.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in to the Habitat Podcast. We really do appreciate you guys coming back every week to get this awesome Habitat content. And we would appreciate it if you went to iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen to this podcast, and leave us a 5-star review. That helps us continue to grow and trend in the right direction, attract new listeners, and help us provide better content in the future. Guys, we have a website full of resources. We have a blog on the website. We have YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all linked up at habitatpodcast.com. Our land plan services, merchandise, decals, hats, t-shirts, and I give away a free 5-inch decal to anyone who leaves us a review on Apple iTunes. Really appreciate it. I want to thank our partners, Downburst Cedars, Vitalize Seed Company, Morse Nursery, Packer Max Cultipackers, Stealth Outdoors, First Light Latitude Outdoors, United Country Midwest Lifestyle Properties, and Exodus Outdoor Gear. Thanks again, guys. We'll be back next week with another great episode of the Habitat Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.